Ever heard of a Moka pot? Today we're going to teach you about the history of the Moka pot, and then we'll teach you how to brew one. Let's dive in to the little bit of the history of where this came from. It was discovered in the Middle East, Yemen specifically, and then started to grow in popularity. The invention of the Moka pot is to make Turkish-like coffee at home. You've seen Turkish coffee where they use the vessel and they put it over the hot sand, and then it comes up through and up at the top. This uses a similar methodology where the heat builds up from the bottom, comes up through the coffee grounds and into the top chamber. It was invented by an Italian guy in the 1930s. His name was Alfonso. I can try to say his last name, but my tongue don't roll like that. I will put it on the screen so you can read it at home.
Bialetti.
He really figured out the mechanics of this device right here. There's three components to the Moka pot. The top, where the coffee will be brewed. The center section, where you would put fine grind coffee. And the bottom chamber, where the water would go. And then you need a heat source. Almost opposite of how your drip coffee pot or the pour over that you make at home. Now that you know the history, let's start brewing with one. Basically what I start to do is disassemble the Moka pot. Unscrew the bottom, take the top chamber off, reach in, separate the middle. Now you have these two chambers. You're gonna put water in this one, you're gonna put fine grind coffee in this one. Every vessel is different. In this size, it's 10 ounces of water will go in here. I'm gonna take my water and I'm gonna pour it into the vessel just below the valve stem. In your vessel, look for the valve stem or some indicator to stop. You need a gap there for the steam of the hot water to press the water up the valve stem. But now once we got my water, I take my coarse ground coffee. What I want to do is just pour the coffee grounds into the center chamber. You do not need to pack it down. Loosely put it in there. With this, you just want to loosely fill up the chamber for the coffee. And then once it's filled, you're going to drop it in the bottom chamber. Next, you would take the top chamber, screw it on to the bottom. Make sure the handle is off to the side and turn it on. Have the lid open so we can watch that first initial perk of coffee. So after you have your water, your coffee, and the vessel all screwed together, you will put it on the heat source with the lid open to look for that initial perk of coffee. This may take about 5 minutes, give or take, depending on the amount of water or how big your vessel is. Normally I stay near just to watch that initial perk. Some people, in the meantime, get a cup with some sugar and they take that initial first spout of coffee and mix it with the sugar to whip it to make a cortado. And it's done. Once it's done brewing, now it's time to enjoy. Just make sure you don't touch none of the silver metal parts, only the black top or the handle. If you could only smell. This is our second course espresso. You can use any coffee you would like. You might notice when you're brewing this way, you pick up your cup and smell. On this particular coffee, I'm getting nutty, caramel, a robust notes of flavor here. We used our second course espresso, which is a blend of our Brazil and Guatemala. If you were to use a lighter roast, you would get more of the fruit and floral notes from the coffee. There is such detail work in the grind and the roast that you just miss with a drive-through cup of coffee. So take the time, experience these different techniques of brewing coffee in a different way. Now, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. You can always come down to the shop and visit us at 1003 Cherry Avenue. We can't sell you a cup of coffee, but we sure can give you a sample and help you really understand how to make the best cup of coffee at home. Cheers.